How did you escape your cult? The people I grew up with didn't think they were in a cult. To them, it was the path. For me, it was just life. I was born into it, on a stretch of flat land in the Midwest where the silence always seemed to press in. There were no screens, music from outside, or books unless they came from the Book of the Path. Everything I knew came from Father Elijah. He wasn't just the leader, he was the voice of God. We were told we were lucky to be chosen, that the rest of the world was broken and dangerous. They warned us about the outside, said it was full of evil. If you left, you were gone forever. You'd be invisible to them, like you had never existed. As a child, I believed them. My days were filled with chores, prayer, and silence. We grew our food, made our clothes, and fasted any time someone sinned, though no one ever said what the sin had been. I wasn't allowed to be near boys. I was told my purpose was to marry early and have as many children as possible. At 14, I was matched with a man who was already nearly 30. He never said much to me, and I didn't really know him, but I didn't ask questions either. It was just what happened. And then Beth was gone. Beth had been the only one who ever dared to wonder about anything. She had this quiet way of asking questions when no one was listening. One night, as we knelt during evening prayer, she leaned toward me and whispered, "There's more out there. I've seen it." The next morning, she was gone. They said she had turned away from the path and been taken by the darkness. We weren't allowed to speak her name again. It was like she never existed, but I couldn't forget her. Years passed. I was 17 when they told me I'd be bound in marriage the next day. As part of the preparations, I was sent into town for the first time to help deliver handmade soaps at the farmer's market. Ruth and Micah, a married couple from the community, came with me to keep watch. While they argued with a vendor about prices, I stepped away. Only a few steps, just to breathe. Then I saw it. A tall building with wide glass doors. The public library. Something in me lit up. I walked toward it without thinking. Inside, it was nothing like my world. People smiled, moved freely, flipped through pages without asking permission. There was color, and sound, and something I hadn't felt before. Space. A woman at the desk looked up and asked if I needed help. I nodded. "Can I read something?" She handed me a book without hesitation. I sat on the floor and opened it. The words pulled me in so quickly I didn't hear Ruth shouting until she grabbed my arm. She snatched the book away and marched me outside without saying a word. Back home, I couldn't sleep. I kept seeing the book in my head, the librarian's gentle smile, and the way it felt to be surrounded by people who weren't afraid. I left a letter under my pillow that night. Then I packed a few things and left before dawn. I walked for miles, through quiet roads and forest edges, back to the only place that had made me feel like I existed. The librarian was there. I told her everything, the words tripping over themselves. She didn't flinch. She called social services. I thought they'd take me back. They didn't. I was placed with a foster family far enough away that no one from the path ever found me. It was rough at first. I jumped at every sound. I didn't trust anyone. I kept my shoes near the bed in case I needed to run. But over time, things got softer. Now I'm 25. I work in that same library, with a name tag that says Children's Reading Assistant. I read stories to kids and watch their eyes go wide with wonder.